Infinity Fantasy is the name of our game. 16 teams, hopes and dreams of a championship to claim.
You do better than that, boy. You do better than that. Come on, squeal. Squeal.
And we're back, and it is the end of week 5, and holy cow, what a close week it was for so many of the teams. We had one blowout, we'll get to that.
Good morning, goddammit.
We had so many close games, and then others that were reasonably close. This is a league that has found parity. Let's just leave it at that for right now. But
What
I gotta
the
get
hell is he wearing? What is that?
Most of the time this is an unnecessary segment, but I understand when I wear this, it becomes more necessary. One of the things I am blessed with now is the children no longer are in the house. Now, that's not a blessing, but let me explain. When I used to wear this back in the day when they were in the house, I would get yelled at for cultural appropriation repeatedly, constantly. But now I can wear it without anybody yelling at me. But what is it? This, my friends, is authentic MLB merch. It is, right? Okay. It is the St. Louis Cardinals authentic MLB merch from the Mexico series a few years ago. Yes, I was one of the 3 people that bought one. I like it. I'm not so sure it sold that well. Anyway, that's what it is. I don't think you're going to see many of these out there. I have one, and I'm pretty proud of it. I wear it once a year, mostly for this podcast, because we're approaching Cinco de Mayo. That's it. I wear it on the Cinco de Mayo episode, and then that's all. Anyway, let's move on. As you can tell, I'm not entirely healthy. I'm actually on the upswing, but I really thought about canceling this episode. This past weekend, long weekend, I was out in Las Vegas with some of the other Infinity owners. It was an owners meeting out there. And I'm going to get to that in a second, but let me just address this sickness and how I knew the show must go on. It means too much to me to not fail y'all. So I had to put this show on mostly because of what happened last year. For those of you who weren't here, or for those of you who don't have a stellar memory, you might remember I was out one of the episodes, couldn't do it. I don't remember the reason. But Arizona Diablos owner stepped in and did an episode. Now, I don't want to knock them too hard because back in 2024, 2023, I'm not sure which year, they did a stand-in episode, surprised all of us. It was awesome. It was one of the better episodes that we've had in this entire history of this league. It was just wonderful. And I always had wanted to see another episode from ADB's owner, but then came last year. And the episode, the interview episode, I don't know if y'all remember that. I do have some clips here. These are the ones that I could show. Most of them were shockingly inappropriate, and not that these aren't inappropriate, but let's just go to the first one. The first one here is when ADB was doing an interview with Started From the Bottom's owner. And keep in mind, Started From the Bottom's owner had only been in the league for a few weeks.
The idea of 2 men kissing, that's fine. I don't care. I love it. It's beautiful. I'll kiss you right now. Please ask me.
Yeah, that was followed by the even more inappropriate interview with Grippert and Rippett.
I don't say anything when I ejaculate.
Nothing at all?
I mean, noises come out, but I don't
Give me a go.
I'm not gonna do that.
Come on. Jerk off right now and let's hear it.
Keep in mind, these are the ones I can show. We have here another interview with the team owner who you'll find out at the end of the clip.
If I was gay, you're my number one choice. Okay.
And this one here is, I don't know if I should reveal this, but our investigative interns, brilliant work, guys. Absolutely brilliant work. It took a year, but you were able to pull it through. Last year, Who's Your Daddy left abruptly in the middle of the season. We were told that it was, well, whatever. I'm not going to get into the excuses that our commissioner told us, but the truth of it was an interview with ADB during this episode. I'm going to play the clip here in a second. They were so offended by this line of questioning that after the interview, they filed a formal complaint with the commissioner. The commissioner said, hey, dude, I hear you, but ADB's my buddy, and I can't kick him out of the league. And then Who's Your Daddy just said, boom, I'm out, and left. Dropped the conversation, dropped out of the chat, everything. So here's why.
Do you think at any point in our lives that we've ever...
All right, now, I mentioned the Las Vegas owners meetings, and here you go. Here's a picture. We had 6 teams represented. I'm surprised that we didn't have more, but all 6, look at them, happy and healthy, having fun. It was a great time. I'm not going to get into it. You don't care. But I do want to address one thing. Grip It and Rip It's owner, Chad, Jared had not told Chad that I was going to be there. And before Red Wine Redbirds could do proper introductions, Chad and I ran into each other on the elevator, and we got a little video off the security cameras, and this is what came down.
Bro, it's taking everything in my power not to whoop your ass right now.
What are you talking about?
Don't think I don't know who you are.
Talking about the show?
It's not a fucking show.
Bro,
You're disrespectful as fuck.
Bro, learn how to separate.
You are
from real
disrespectful
life,
as fuck.
It's a show,
If
bro.
I had a belt right now, I'd whoop the shit out of you like your mama should have been doing.
It's a show, bro.
It's not a show!
Now, it was all made better afterwards when Jared and all of us were able to do proper introductions. We did this last year without Chad, so this was new for me and Chad, which I guess is why the elevator thing happened. It was just like picking up like from last year. It was wonderful.
See the homies with the box, the knots, in the rows. That's how I know you niggas really roll. For no goals, and it shows. Money blue, designer shoes.
And of course, the Sour Grapes and I picked up right where we left off as well.
Bros before hoes. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man.
And junk before trunk.
All right, balls before dolls.
Padres before I sleep with 2 madres.
Brad Pitt before grab clit.
D's nuts before skinny sluts.
Masturbate before ask her to date.
Beef stew before watching The View.
Male erection before One Direction.
Mario and Luigi before Thelma and Louise.
Bert and Ernie before Squirt and Spermy.
So anyway, I'm not going to bore you with the details of the owners meeting, but I will just simply say we had so much fun that when it was over, I got sick. I guess that's the best way to put it. Just run down like hell. It's hard to keep up with these young kids. It really is. I think Sour Grapes might actually agree with me on that one. One of the things that I was able to do with the replacements owner, Justin, was just ask him, how's the season going? What do you think about the league?
I mean, it's fine, I'll drink it. But it's not what I paid for. It's not. It sucks. It's fucking horrible. Anyway.
Now let's move on. Some news and notes here. Further news and notes, I guess. I gotta say, week 5 really brought out the whiny bitches. Yeah, let's take a look at these real quick. We had people complaining about quality starts and how they have been repeatedly screwed by their pitchers getting pulled with 5 2/3 innings, right? These are just a couple of the clips here that I was able to grab off the chat. It happened to me, it's happened to you, it's happened to all of us. And it just is what it is. I don't know what else to say about it. We had people complaining about magic and bad luck, right? Like that doesn't happen every week.
Look at this. Y'all out here making up all these excuses, and this man right here is blind. Oh.
And with that, we bring in a new prop to the show. For all of those who wanted to complain about quality starts and black magic and injuries and such, we have this. And I've put together a little song for you. There you go. That's it. What else we got? Oh. Yes, it was whiny bitch season, but it was also a rough week for many people. know, it's week 5, right? We're getting into the season. We're a quarter of the way through our fantasy season, regular season, and it is what it is. And at this point, we are now recognizing what our teams are. And I think what most of us see is different than what the rest of the league sees. Yep, we're just piecing it together. I think there's a lot of us who are showing up well in the points. We're showing up well in the standings. And in reality, it's paper clips and duct tape, right? I think that's kind of what the story is for many of us. All right, before we move to game recaps, we have to go back and recount one of the most incredible achievements in Infinity Fantasy Baseball history. Now, it's not unprecedented because hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons did it last year, and they were jumped immediately to the top of the power rankings. They were given a papal coronation. If you remember, it was just an epic achievement. But it happened again. Yes, Matt's Marauders, the second person in Infinity Fantasy Baseball League history to unlock the Club 800 achievement. Yes, it happened this past week, and it was just epic.
Yeah, whoa, yeah, 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 yeah.
He was being walked into the stadium for the big celebration. Here you see him getting ready for his big entrance. Here you go. Once he's in there and the celebration's going full force.
The man who had set the standard, laid the foundation, you get the hero's welcome here. Or it's a bunch of irate husbands with shotguns.
Just amazing. And, you know, I was going to leave it at that, but this popped up in the league chat yesterday, and how could I have forgotten? Thank you, Mr. Chris, for reminding all of us about Matt's thing here. And yes, it is well deserved. So enjoy this one, Matt. All right. Now it's time for the game recaps, and we are going to speed run the game recaps. I always talk too much, and these game recaps last too long. So let's go to the game of the week. First of all, wow, what a great pick for the game of the week. These two teams going to bed Sunday night. I don't think we know who was going to win this game because we have those adjusting points. I think Hit Pitches Get Bitches pointed it out a few weeks ago that sometimes there's certain categories that update overnight. And holy cow. Anyway, just a reminder, this was our Game of the Week contest. Remember? We got a little bit of game film. And that was undecisive, right? That's what we looked at going into Sunday night. When we woke up Monday morning, this is the winner that we found to be officially crowned in our Game of the Week. That's right. Congratulations. Holy cow. That might have been the closest game that I can remember in Infinity history. If it's not the most, it is up there. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Too much talk. Let's go to the next game. And what else could we go to next other than Matt's Marauders and Red Wine Redbirds? We've talked about Club 800. We don't need to get into that anymore. We just got to get into this game. First of all, we have to just show there's so much game film. There was so much scoring. And then we had the complete turnaround story as well. We haven't even touched on that yet. Matt's Marauders, week 4, just chump change. And then week 5, complete turnaround.
Hey, help me, please.
Stupid Holy. Whoa!
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
You got him. You got him. Enough.
Are you okay?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'll be right back. Hey,
No. I think he's had enough.
Now, one thing I do want to bring up here is something that was really interesting. I went back and I evaluated all of the losses Redvine Redbirds has had back to 2020. Yes, I did the heavy lifting. I did the hard work. I dug. Okay, guys, yeah, I know you did it, but because I'm like, I get to take credit because I'm on the camera, so that's just how it goes. Anyway, and I did all that work, and here you go. This right here, I'm gonna put it up in a second. This is the 10 biggest losses for Redvine Redbirds since 2020. That's a long time ago, and here you go. Here they are. And of course, what spurred my interest, what spurred my curiosity was what happened in week 5. And sure enough, that was the biggest ass thumping that Redvine Redbirds has ever had. Yeah, biggest ass thumping in fantasy baseball that Redvine Redbirds has ever had. There you go. Number 2, Matt's Marauders. How about that? Back in 2023. Still though, fantastic, great analysis. I do want to thank the interns for putting this together for me. Anyway, let's move on. We're moving to bat flipping, boys, and another victory, another bonus win. Let's go straight to some game film because this game was close early, but it wasn't close in the end.
Good. It didn't look like much, but those are the shots that really hurt. They make great throws. Finish him.
All right, so we are now at a 10-0 bat flipping, boys. Undefeated. Let's just take a real quick view as how we got here. With that, we have one more clip we have to show with bat flipping, boys.
Stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
As our speed run continues, we're going to move on to Arizona Diablos Blancos versus #Lawless Bearded Dragons. This, in past years, would have been an epic match, probably game of the week. But this year, ADB's just not bringing it. Nobody knows what's going on. Definitely bringing it. Our number 1 power rank team last week. Anyway, let's watch a little game film between the high and mighty #Lawless Bearded Dragons and the yet to show up little Diablos Blancos.
No, don't. Wait. Wait a minute. He's looking around. Look below. This is almost surreal to me. This is biblical. Uh-oh. No.
Anyway, we're going to speed run. We're done with this game. We're going to move on to the next game.
Hold that.
How are you?
Not great, Bob.
What's our next game? It is another turnaround story here. It's a double turnaround story. One turning around for the good, one turning around for the bad. Aldi's Sour Grapes with another a win and a new bonus win. So here, let's go first to the game film.
All right, boys, keep it clean. You ready? Go!
Did you see the faces on those guys? Holy cow, they came to play. They are not messing around. They know in that sort of middle of the pack, you got to win these games. If nothing else, you got to get a bonus win. But what happened here? Because Joe Buck yourself was a power rank team last week. Aldi's Sour Grapes, a bonus win team, but not a power rank team. What happened here?
I'm like, stop. Collaborate and...
Yeah, Rhett Lauder. Now, it wasn't all his fault, but there was a series of negative points just coming down on Joe Buck yourself. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. That's not going to happen every week. So Joe Buck yourself is still sitting up here in my regard. So, one loss does not, destroy a team. But I want to do a big congratulations to Aldi's Sour Grapes because this turnaround story is now 2 weeks old at least, and another bonus win.
Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice that you were looking in my direction.
Oh, yes, I was. You just ordered the same exact lunch as me.
My name is George. I'm unemployed and I live with my parents.
I'm Victoria. Hi.
Moving on, we get Grip It and Rip It against St. Lunatics. Two very good teams. Not, top tier, but they're like second tier-ish. Anyway, this one, Grip It and Rip It wins, and here's some game film.
And Stefan, I cannot think of a better way to bring down the curtain.
All right, folks, I can't talk about all the games. Here's another. We're moving on. Started from the bottom. Another contender playing the replacements. Looked good early. The replacements has been struggling a little bit down in the little AAA world. Moving on to what was, I don't know what you call this. Pity game, sympathy game. It was the lowest ratings of all the games this week. We got the Nielsen numbers back. Yeah, anyway, let's just go to some quick game film. You got on this one, you've got Raleigh Fingers Your Sister pitching, and Juno Eskimos is at the plate. This is pretty much the highlight of the entire game.
트리플 S 이지우 정하연 씨의 시구시타입니다.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Bring out your dead. Here's one. Ninepence. I'm not dead. What? Nothing. Here's your ninepence. I'm not dead. Here. He says he's not dead. Yes, he is. I'm not. He isn't? Well, he will be soon. He's very ill. I'm getting better. No, you're not. You'll be stone dead in a moment. Oh, I can't take him like that. It's against regulations. I don't want to go on the car. Oh, don't be such a baby. I can't take him. I feel fine. Well, do us a favour. I can't. Well, can you hang around a couple of minutes? He won't be long. No, I've got...
What these two are playing for, is respect. That's what they're playing for at this point. It's only week 5, and they're already just trying to play and gain the respect of the league.
Damn right.
You gonna respect this.
Respect us.
Respect it.
Don't mess with us.
Don't mess with us.
Damn right.
Yeah.
We don't take nothing off nobody.
We'll take shit.
We'll take shit. Don't take shit.
Yeah, come on.
Don't take shit.
No.
Guys just sold it pretty well, so yeah, that was good. Anyway, we're done with recaps, and we are moving on. Now we move on to the game of the week for week 6. Who is it going to be? Total disappointment is what it's going to be. Unfortunately, we had some news this past week.
OpenAI will shut down its video generation app Sora as it focuses more on business and coding. Sora briefly went viral last fall, but also raised alarms about copyrights in Hollywood as countless AI-generated videos were posted of celebrities doing some pretty outlandish things.
Yeah, OpenAI has cut funding. They've had big, bad financial news, and they are tightening the reins over there. They have dropped Sora, which was our Game of the Week generator. I gotta find a new tool. Otherwise, I can't do Game of the Week graphics. And without Game of the Week graphics, what's the purpose of having a Game of the Week? So no game of the week in week 6. We just have the following news, and it's been totally disappointing on the side over here. The interns and I are just very sad that we don't have that tool to use right now.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straightening the curves, flattening the hills.
All right, it is now time to check in on our divisions. That terrible text, message, chat, whatever you call it, from the Western Division trying to claim dominance. Let's see how that's going now. So here's what happened in week 5. You can see some points here. Central Division just ass-kicked everybody. 2,693 points combined. They had all the teams in the Central Division had bonus wins, all 4. Now, that's not such a bad, it's a huge deal, but Western Division had 3 bonus wins. So yeah, they're starting to get that engine churning, and they're starting to maybe live up to that horrible text that they sent out. AAA, whatever, just shit the bed. And East, man, it looks like the only point scorer in that league right now, in that division rather, is bat flipping boys. Come on, guys, let's get it going here. Anyway, there's your week 5. Let's check in on the overall season standings at this point. Okay, there you go. Look at that. Central Division has taken the lead from the Eastern Division. And it's not even by a small amount. It's by a huge amount. And the Central Division now clearly claims the title as best and strongest division.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble.
That is irrefutable. I don't care what the Western Division wants to say. And Central Division also is leading in the bonus win category. So there you go. There's all your information for the overall season-long divisional contest. All right, now we're going to talk about the standings. Now, I know you can go to certain standings online. Just go to the league webpage. But what we're going to talk about here is traditional standings. Forget this commissioner-instigated bonus win, bonus loss crap. I mean, sure, it's helping me, but it doesn't help everybody. We're going to go back and we're going to look at the standings as if we were a normal fantasy league. So here you go. This is what you're looking at. Here's the standings, top to bottom. Anyway, you can look across this. I don't need to read this to you. One thing I should point out, the average, pretty much right there in the middle, versus average, that is the number of points each team has scored above the league average. If you look at the bottom, the league average appears to be 3,175 points. And what this is doing is just simply calculating how much above or below the league average your team has scored. Interesting data here, but we move on now to the everyone versus everyone. The green indicates teams that have risen, red indicates teams that fell from week 4, and the gray is just those that stayed the same. One thing that I wanted to point out here, kind of interesting, even though Mr. Marauder had so many points this past week, they only rose 2. You know who else rose 2? St. Lunatics, Grip It and Rip It, Aldi's Sour Grapes. So, I mean, you know, a big 800-point win in a 15-0 week, it only raised Matt 2 points, 2 positions. That's something. I was surprised by that. And honestly, I didn't go back and check the data, which now I'm thinking maybe I should have. But anyway, this is your data right here. Okay, now I've got a little mini news segment I want to add. And this is something that maybe we can add each week if anybody's interested. And this is basically, you ask, I answer. So here's the first question that came through in the league chat. And it says, hey, have Boyd's interns check year to date from last year to see if scoring is at a lesser pace. Thought that was interesting. I think all of us are a little bit curious, but take a look at this. Here's the answer to the question. In the upper left-hand corner, through week 5. Now I have to say, this is only weeks 2 through 5 because week 1 this year and week 1 last year didn't line up very well, so I just eliminated them from consideration. But look at this. Last year, weeks 2 through 5, we averaged 529 points per team. This year, it's 588, an increase of just over 10%. You got the weekly breakout there. Coming over here, weekly high scores versus weekly low scores. You can see that we have this trend line of increasing scores this season, high scores that is, and a declining line more or less of low scores. Anyway, something kind of interesting. The scores this year, the high scores are definitely much higher. Low scores are right about in line, a little bit higher as well. But the overall average, yep, this year's higher, but I do think I would have assumed it'd been higher with a whole nother added position scoring and some of our scoring changes. So anyway, that's it. You ask, we answer. Thank you to the interns for pulling this together. And that's it. Let's move on. All right, so this segment, if you remember from last year, at the end of each month, the first episode of the following month, we go back and we look at the top player performers of the previous month. April just ended, so we're going to do that. So here, I'm just going to take you through these, I don't know why, but they're going to be in there just for a second. At least you could stop them and take a look. We're going to look at each position. First thing we're going to look at is the top 10 hitters. Now, one of the things I've done is Shohei Ohtani is clearly in a different category. So it's Shohei Ohtani plus the next 10 because I can't separate pitching from hitting. Here's your top 10 starting pitchers. Here's your top 10 relief pitchers. Here's your top 10 catchers. Here's your top 10 first baseman, second baseman, third baseman, shortstops, and outfielders. And lastly, designated hitters. But what does all that mean? Let's take it in a summary format because that might make it more interesting. Here's what we're looking at. April's top scoring players broken out. If you look there, all the teams down the left alphabetically, and then our top 10 batters, top 10 hitting. And which teams had the most of those. As you can see there, hashtag is clearly in the lead. And then we've got starting pitchers followed by relief pitchers and then onward. Again, Shohei Ohtani, it is in a class by himself. And because I can't separate hitting and pitching points, I just put a separate category in there and I said, you know, whichever team owns the Shohei Ohtanis. Anyway, you can take a quick look at that data. All right, here's some more information here on the rosters. I did not do any analysis on this. We will in the future, but midweek, week 5, I did a snapshot of everybody's roster. I can't do these things at the end of the week. There's just not enough time between the time the games end and the time that Arizona Diablos Blancos starting to get the twitch, right? And I start getting these Dave Chappelle memes from them. Trying to get these things out faster in the week so they're more current. Anyway, what you're looking at right now is the standings and broken out by your roster. You're going to see here, top to bottom, these were the standings after week 4. And over to the right, you're going to see hitters, starting pitchers, relief pitchers, pitchers in total, and roster. Right? You could carry 31 players on your roster. Not everybody's doing that. I understand why. It's pitchers, who's carrying the most pitchers, and then break that down into starting pitchers and relief pitchers. Who's carrying 6, 7, 8, 9 relief pitchers? I will tell you right now, I guess it's analysis after 4 weeks as I've been building my team, roster all those relief pitchers. Roster 9 relief pitchers. Those guys score points. Do your own analysis, that's fine, but those relief pitchers, you can only start 6, I think, on any given day. I think. Maybe I don't know. But anyway, those guys score points 2 or 3 times a week, and I think they can accumulate as much point as an average starting pitcher. So I think they're going to get you more points than guys on the bench, but I'm not sure. I'm somebody who believes in no bench, but that's a different story. Anyway, interesting information. Let's take it down here further. Here's a primary position breakdown. I don't want to go into this. There's a lot of numbers there. You can look through it. It's kind of interesting who's carrying what. Might also be interesting for trade purposes. I think I did break this down based on primary position, right? That's whatever comes first in the list of positions the player's eligible for. And then right here is just simply by division. I don't want to get into this any further. A lot of numbers, a lot of information in front of you. I'll let you take a look at it and figure out what's going on. Anyway, that's it. We're done with this segment. Sorry for a lot of numbers. Sorry for a lot of words. Not a lot of humor here, but anyway, something interesting and something a little bit different. All right, now we get to the moment that everybody has sat through the first 20, 30, 40 minutes, sometimes over an hour for. Yes, it is Power Rankings time. All right, and yes, Mr. Marauder and Mr. Bearded Dragons in that graphic this time because those are the two who have laid down the 800-point beatdown. Yeah, I have to admit, a huge mistake. I gave Matt a lot of pomp and circumstance for being this unprecedented 2026 800-point scorer. I messed up. I owe Mr. Bearded Dragons a huge apology. I mean, it was only a week ago that Bearded Dragon scored over 800. You'd think I'd remember that. But I was in a brain fog, a Vegas brain fog, so it slipped my mind. And Bearded Dragons, I sincerely apologize. I should have made a big deal about it last week. I didn't, not at least as much as I did Marauder, so I owe it to you. In a future episode of the podcast, I will make a big deal about something you accomplished. So, and as always, before we get to the power rankings, we got to go through the basement gang. And for once this season, the basement gang looks mostly 2/3 familiar.
Yo, man, let's get out of here. Word to your mother.
All right, now trying to get this thing done and wrapped up, so I'm not going to do much with this power rankings, no graphics, nothing like that. We're just going to go to the 5 and then we're going to end the episode. But here, coming in at number 5, this is a crazy week. Let's talk about this. Last week, here's last week's rankings. Let's do that. Let's show that. Here's last week, week 4's rankings. Don't mistake that for this week. Big changes. Anyway, that's what we're starting from at the end of last week. This week, coming in at number 5, slipping a point, Saint Lunatics. What does that mean for number 4? Returning to the power rankings from earlier in the season is a dominant week 5 team, Grip It and Rip It. And here's a surprise, falling one spot to number 3 is Bat Flippin' Boys. So who's our number 1 and our number 2? Who could it be? Last week we had hashtag Lawless number 1 and Bat Flippin' number 2. So we got a new entrant up here in the top. Coming in at number 2, falling a spot is hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons, which means none other than Mr. Club 800 himself has leapfrogged everybody into that top spot. You know, it's got to be an almost auto number 1 when you top 800 points in this league. We'll see as the season goes on. We all improve our teams. Maybe by the end of the season, Club 800 isn't something special. But that doesn't take away anything from Club 800 right now in week 5. This is an unprecedented event, and with it comes an automatic number 1 ranking in the power rankings. So anyway, congratulations, Mr. Marauder. It was an epic show this week. I'm doubly happy that you beat up on Red Wine Redbirds because I was starting to question whether or not they deserved a spot in the top 5 in the past weeks. I was starting to feel a little bit of guilt, just a little bit. And I'm glad that you just eliminated that. So anyway, what a week. That was, if anybody was really following it closely, which I know a bunch of you were, wow, that was a fun week. Big blowout, obviously, Mr. Marauder. But then we had so many close games. Anyway, that's it. That's the power rankings. That's the episode. We're done. I'll see you at the end of week 6.
Coach, but we undefeated, homeboy. Yeah!
refill, look. He's jacking his little weenus.
Pull yourself together, bro.
Not at the table, Carlos.
Everyone loves a good comeback story, right? Seabiscuit, the Mighty Ducks, Robert Downey Jr.
Working on my body, doing my burpees, and it shows.
6, 7, 8. Come on!